everybody that tuned in terms of the watch along. It was the first time I was doing it of that nature. I still think that there are elements to improve on, but just like everything in life, it falls into place in time. So this video, it's my match review, you could say, essentially. So that's essentially what I'm doing in this video. So I'm gonna get through what I need to. But in terms of the recap of how everything panned out today, as you can see by the scoreline, the United States 4, Jamaica 1. This is the first time since 2017 that Jamaica is conceding 4 goals in a game. The last time we did was a 5-2 loss to Saudi Arabia, and that was in 2017. This is also the United States' biggest victory over Jamaica since 2002. The last time that was a big margin of victory, the United States defeated Jamaica by 5-0. In terms of how the match panned out and everything like that, Serginho Dest gave the Americans the lead in the 34th minute, and then Brendan Aronson equalized, well, not equalized, but he gave the Americans a 2-goal lead in the 52nd minute. Jamal Lowe pulled one back for us in the 70th minute, and then there was a brace for Sebastien Ledget in the 83rd and also the 90th minute. Now, firstly, before we look at the analysis of the game, you guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments below. In terms of the new faces that we saw in the squad from England, who did you think gave a good impression? I'm going to go through the names and then you give me your thoughts. But firstly, let's start in goal. Jadine White. Out of 10, I would give him a 5, 5.5. You know, I think he commanded in terms of crosses quite well, but I still think that there are areas that he can improve on in terms of a sloppy play. So I would say a 5.5, 5 for Jadine White for his display. Adrian Mariappa headed out a number of balls for us, you know, kept the Americans on their toes. Perhaps a 7 out of 10 for his performance. Ethan Pinnock, it wasn't his best in terms of his address, in terms of a performance, in terms of a debut. Wasn't his best game, but I think he headed out the balls quite well. But a couple of occasions, the likes of Reina and company, Sargent, went around him quite easily. So I'm hoping that another opportunity is given towards Pinnock for this game. But in terms of his display, a 6 out of 10 at best for Pinnock. Although he cleared the ball quite often, I still give him a 6 out of 10 for this display. Liam Moore, perhaps the best display out of all of the English recruits for this encounter. Liam Moore, a 7.5 to an 8 out of 10. That's the range I would give him. He threw out his line, he threw his body at everything basically. Liam Moore gave a good impression and certainly impressed for his occasion. Amari Bell had a few interceptions, but I don't think that it was a great display. It's not the display that, you know, really impressed us by any stretch of the imagination. So Amari Bell, 6 out of 10. Michael Hector, if you're going to be harsh on him, probably a 4, but I give him a 5. Kevon Isaacs, I would give him a 4. I didn't think that he did well in terms of a tandem with Hector. And again, we're going to go back to the sense of the not playing football and everything like that. Ricardo Morris had that brilliant chance on goal in the opening quarter of an hour, but 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10. Casey Palmer, we didn't see the Casey Palmer that we saw at Bristol City, but at least we got a glimpse of what he can do. So for me, Palmer, Moore, Gray, Low, great auditions. It doesn't mean that I don't want to see Pinnock. Of course, I would love to see Pinnock back. But for right now, in terms of Bell, Kemar Taxi Lawrence still hangs on to that left back spot for me. Pinnock, I would give him another opportunity in the Gold Cup. Moore has to be on the plane to the Gold Cup. Palmer has to be there for the Gold Cup. Palmer has quality. Even though we didn't see it in abundance today, he didn't have the midfield to support him and give him the ball. You know, we were quite sloppy in terms of possession. Andre Gray, I told you about this guy, Andre Gray, what he's going to do. He's going to work hard for us. He's going to be disciplined. He's going to be tenacious. And that's exactly what we're going to get from the man, Andre Gray. Created an assist for low scoring on debut for Jamaica. The first to score for Jamaica on debut since Daniel Johnson. Yeah, Daniel Johnson, as we know, scored on debut. as well. I think Bobby Reed even scored on debut for us as well against Antigua. So, you know, outstanding, great. And we're really, really happy that he was able to get that. We saw Curtis Tilt, he had that chance with his foot, but goalkeeper Stefan, you know, did quite well to ensure that the ball didn't go into the net. Omar Holness came on, but him and Levy, I don't think it was enough time to really give them a rating, so I'm not going to give them a rating. But what I can say is that they covered space quite well. You know, I didn't see them on the ball as often as I would like, but they covered space quite well, and I think that is outstanding from that perspective. So we take it, you know, we take it, and hopefully it's a scenario where we press on from it, you know, and hopefully things progress in a positive direction. So that is what I'm really, really, really hoping for, that, you know, we have individuals that can cement. Like I said, for me, the result wasn't a priority. It's about these English players to stand up and hold their hand. Willis, yes, Jamaican folks spoke about Willis. Willis was trying to make things happen, especially as he came onto the park, winning back possession, passing the ball in front of him, progressive. So I wouldn't give him a rating, but I think he was decent for what we saw. So in terms of the English players that came onto the park, who would you say starts first the next game? Well, not starts first, but definitely in the squad. Liam Moore, right? Casey Palmer, right? Jamal Lowe, right? Andre Gray, right? Pinnock, and it pains me to say this, Pinnock had sloppy moments, but Pinnock for me is still the best defender in the championship. So Pinnock for me has to move forward in that sense, right? We saw a tilt, but that was for 25 minutes and he headed out the ball, you know? And there's a good comment here from Campbell that scoreline wasn't a good representation of what happened. Lowe, Moore, Gray, Palmer put in a good shift. And those are exactly the names that did well. So I know it's disappointing, you know, it's disappointing that we're not able to get the result, even at 2-1 when we're looking for the equalizer. Let's not forget, guys, these were a set of players that had 2 training sessions together, and it just didn't, you know, things didn't work out. So we're just gonna have to move on from it. And as we know, it's the Gold Cup that is next. It's the Gold Cup that is next, so we're gonna have to look forward to that. Guys, we're still gonna have Reggae Boys commentary this evening, hopefully in the 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock region, Jamaica time. I'm still gonna do our usual Thursdays live, and in that video we'll go a little bit more in depth about what was needed and all of that, and take all of your questions and so on. So this was my instant match review reaction towards the game. So as I said, this evening on Reggae Boys commentary, when we go live like we normally do on Thursday evenings, we're going to go more into depth of the actual performance of the team. But in terms of the results, it's disappointing. It really is. But, you know, it's a scenario we're going to have to pick ourselves up, brush them off. This is a friendly. This is not a World Cup qualifier. This is not a Gold Cup. This is a friendly match. We saw exactly the areas that we need to improve on, and we see areas of strength of ours. On the counter, we can take on anybody in the region. Absolutely anybody in the region. Anybody in the region. So that is a positive for us. And I'm really, 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 really happy about that. Yeah, a lot of you guys were saying 6-0, 9-0. Yeah, that didn't happen. But guess what? I said 1-1, and it turned out to be 4-1. Arguably, the score should have ended at a 2-1 or 2-2. But it is what it is. We move on from it, and we press on, shall we? Reggae Boys fans, thank you very much for tuning into this video. Really, really appreciate it. Don't forget to like this video, give it a massive thumbs up, and also to like our Facebook page, Reggae Boys Commentary. And this evening, as I said, we're going to have our normal live for the game. We're going to have our normal live that we do every Thursday. Okay, guys? Thanks very much for tuning in. Really, really appreciate it. And don't forget as well to subscribe to Reggae Boys Commentary. Take care.